So in this video I want to talk about how to paint detail in an oil painting, and I'm talking about specifically realism, but really this could apply to any type of oil painting when you have to put some delicate detail on the surface of something. And here's a few examples of what I mean by detail. And also the other thing about detail is that it's always something that you do at the very end. Because even if you're painting in layers where you allow one layer to dry and then you come in with another layer, or whether you're just painting all wet and wet, you've got to get all your values in and have those values be correct before you can put in any detail. And you also have to get your shapes right, so which is related to getting your values right. But getting your values right and working on that is absolutely paramount, and you have to do that first before you can even begin to think about painting any detail. And so I think that the problem lies, and I see this with my students all the time, is that what they're attempting to do, let's say you have a source image over here, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to make this look like that. And the way they think that to achieve that is by seeing that surface detail or that surface texture even on the object, and they think, well, if I can just reproduce that here, then this will look like that. And what they're forgetting is that their values aren't even right to begin with. And it's going to be your values, the lightness and darkness of the various parts of your painting. Is the shadow on your vase the right value? Meaning, is it as dark as it should be? Or is it too light? And so getting your values right and not focusing on detail and leaving in the detail till the very end is what I'm advising that you do. Now, some detail can be put in just sort of as you paint, but when it comes to real delicate, detail with fine lines, you really have to put that on top, because you're not about to leave little blank spots of canvas everywhere that little bit of detail is going to go. That's just too much. So you have to, even if you're working wet and wet, you just put that wet paint on top of the other wet paint. And when you do work wet and wet and you're putting in detail on top, you have one or two strokes only before you have to re-dip your brush. So it's like fill your brush up with paint, put in that little bit of detail, and then it's like 1, 2, wipe on a paper towel, re-dip, get your brush prepared, 2 more strokes, wipe on a paper towel, re-dip, and that's the process. Because if you start doing this and you take it too far, now you're just painting with mud and you're not painting with that color that you're trying to put in there. So that's important. But the main lesson here, and I think this is something that just kind of wrap your head around, is you're not trying to paint the surface. And so if you look at this painting here of this lady, which I love, and if you look at her hair or even her clothes, up close, this does not look like cloth, for instance. But because the values are right, when you step back, it all falls into place. So don't focus on trying to make your surface look like that surface. You never have to do that. Yes, do put some texture in there, try to paint with an abstract stroke, or whatever it is. Don't make it all smooth, but this texture does not need to match the texture in your source image. And if you're going to put any detail in at all, that needs to be put in after you're completely happy with your shapes and your values and everything. Well, I hope that's been helpful. If you're interested in taking a private class from me here in Austin, just email me at mark@drawmixpaint.com, and I'll send you all the information about my private classes. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.